Hey guys, it's Char here. So today's video is going to be all about what you need to put into your race day pack. So there's a lot of things you need to take on race day. Probably a few things you haven't even thought about. So I'm just going to go through them and then put them in my bag. So first, I just want to show you the bag I use. I have this Essex bag that I won at a race ages ago, but it's actually a really good bag. So I really like it because it zips all the way up and you can, you know, get anything you need even if it's right at the bottom and you don't have to pull everything out. So if you ever find a bag like this that has a zip that opens all the way to the bottom, definitely buy it because I found this one really useful. So I don't even know what this one's called, but it's Essex brand. So this is the bag I use. So the first thing I usually put in my bag is some water, because after you race you're usually pretty dehydrated, and I've also got a bottle of electrolytes because, you know, when you're running for over, you know, 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours or 5 hours, you're usually pretty electrolyte depleted when you finish, so it's always good to have some electrolytes as well as water. So next I just have some clothing. So usually at the end of the race my feet are really sore and I don't want to wear my shoes anymore, especially if you've been running for hours and hours. All you want to do is take your shoes off. So a pair of sandels is always really good to take with you. Then next, a jacket. So I mean, normally when you're on the way to the race you're going to wear a jacket and some warm clothes, but these are things that I can put in my bag anyway, just before I race. So, and also if it's really hot when you're about to finish, if it's really hot before you start and you don't want to wear a jacket when you finish, sometimes you're really cold, so it's a good idea to have a jacket. Or if it's rains at the end, you know, where you're hanging around after the race, it's good to have a jacket. And then it's also good to have a jumper. Sometimes they can take up a lot of room. This is just the one I like to wear for races. It's just an Adidas one. So what I really recommend is having a like a long sleeve merino or a thermal long sleeve t-shirt to wear underneath your waterproof jacket, and then that will keep you as warm as having a jumper. The next is just a t-shirt. When I finish racing, especially if it's really hot, you're pretty, you know, sweaty and you feel pretty disgusting, so I like to change my t-shirt when I finish racing, so just a spare t-shirt. This one's just a normal cotton t-shirt, but you could put in another running t-shirt if you wanted to, if it's a really hot day. And then finally I've got a hat because, you know, you never know what the weather's going to be like. It's always good to have a hat, you know, just in case. So the next thing I'll go through is kind of food things. So I've got some gels. So the race I've got coming up is a half marathon, so I would usually take 1 or 2 gels, maybe probably just 1, but I will take 2 anyway. So those are always good, and I usually just put them in my sports bra. If you're a guy, I don't know, hopefully you've got pants with pockets in them that you can put them in. Otherwise, I don't know guys, tell me where you put your gels because I really don't know, because you don't have a bra to put it in. I also have 2 muesli bars for after the race. You usually get pretty hungry, although not initially, but about half an hour to an hour once you're done, you start to, you know, get pretty hungry. So 2 muesli bars is good to have. Normally at half marathons and marathons there's food available. So besides muesli bars, it's also good to bring your wallet, and if you don't want to bring your whole wallet, just take some cash or like a debit card, so you can buy things afterwards if you want to. So next I've just got some deodorant to put in when I finish running, because sometimes I like to put deodorant on. Even though I'm pretty sure like I'm pretty stinky, I still would like to put some deodorant on after my race. Then next I've just got my asthma inhaler because I've got really bad asthma. So next is plasters. So if you've never run a marathon or a half marathon before, or run, you know, a really long distance, you're probably gonna get blisters, and even if you have run them before, you're probably gonna get blisters too. So Compete is really good. You thank me at the end of your race if you've got Compete. I often get blisters myself, so these are always good to have. And then plasters just for if you've got any small blisters in between your toes. And guys, if it's super hot and you're gonna get really sweaty, definitely put some plasters on your nipples, otherwise you're gonna get really chafed nipples. Girls, it's not a problem because you wear a sports bra. Finally, the Panthem, or like any nappy rash cream or Vaseline or Paw for chafing. This is something that a lot of people don't think about, especially when you start the run and it's 6 AM in the morning and it's cold. When it starts heating up and you're hot and you're sweaty and things are rubbing, you're going to want this afterwards to put on. Trust me, take something like this for after the race. And then just some sunglasses, in case it's sunny and you want to put sunglasses on. I always take sunglasses just in case. Racing watch. Normally I'd probably put this with like my race gear for me to put on in the morning, and I'll do a video about that probably in the next few days. But yeah, if you don't put it on in the morning, definitely have it in your bag, just your watch. Oh, and the one I've got is a Garmin Forerunner 220. It's a really good watch for the price. It's not the top end one, it's not the bottom end one, but it has really good functions. And I really like it. I've had it for about 2 years now, and it's still going strong. And then finally I've got my phone, because you take some pictures or contact people after the race, so it's good to have your phone, make sure it's charged. Just chuck that in there. And then that is my race bag, all packed. If you've got any more questions about things you might need, just comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe and like my Instagram, which is swimbikerunNZ, and my Facebook is also swimbikerunNZ. See you next time.